Hi, Stefano Molea here, San Diego criminal defense lawyer and partner at the law office of David P. Shapiro, where we help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. In this video, I want to clear up some terminology that sometimes gets misused because I think it's just important to make sure that there's never confusion when discussing, what actually happens, right? So one thing I want to clear up is the difference between jail and prison. Okay, so jail is county jail. It's run by typically the sheriff's department, right? And in San Diego, it's the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. Now, people who are in jail are either pre-trial, right, meaning that they just got arrested and they're waiting for their court hearing, or their court has already started, right? They've already been charged with a crime, a complaint's been filed, and they're unable to bail out, or they have not been given the ability to bail out, and so they're just waiting their day in court, right, while the case is pending. Now, local jail can also be for people who have been sentenced to probation. And the reason it's probation, and yet you're still serving time in local county jail, is because on probation, you can get anywhere between 0 and 365 days of local time. Okay, so that's what county jail is. If you've been to jail, that means you got probation. Now, let's compare that and contrast that to prison. Prison is not run by the Sheriff's Department. Prison is run by the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, CDCR. And so if someone goes to prison, that means that probation was denied. And, then they have to go to one of the various prisons within the state of California. Sometimes, there's a contract with out-of-state prisons that people go to. But that's, of course, with a much different population. Now, they have different security risks that they assess when processing people in. They have different security levels at different prisons. But a prison means you've been denied probation, and it's going to be for more than a year, okay, as far as the actual sentence that's imposed. Now, something that's kind of happened in the last about 8, 9, 10 years, give or take, is this concept of local prison, which kind of complicates and confused a lot of people. Now, local prison is essentially the legislature set a certain category of criminal charges, mostly drug possession, okay, or possession for sale of drugs, where there's like no gun involved or anything like that. But there's a certain category of cases that are eligible for local prison. And when you are eligible for local prison, there's a couple benefits. One, you're actually serving a prison sentence in local jail, right? The potential benefit there is that you're going to be around family, right? Because you're staying within the county. It's easier for them to come visit. And if you're used to it, it's, you're staying put essentially, right? Or at least you're staying within the county, and they might just move you around between jails within San Diego County. The other important thing to know about when you're sentenced to local prison is that there is the ability to do a split sentence. So let's say, for example, that, and this is, not typically the prison sentence for local prison cases, but let's say it's a local prison sentence of 10 years. Now, there's sort of a presumption that there's going to be at least a 50-50 split. So let me explain what that means. Let's say on a 10-year local prison sentence, somebody has to do 10 years and it's a 50-50 split. That means that 5 years are custodial, meaning you're actually doing, you're supposed to serve 5 years of jail time, local jail time, right? But you're going to get credits for that, right? And right now, based on PC 4019 credits, you're doing about half time. So let's say you get a 10-year local prison sentence and you get a 50-50 split. That means you got to do 5 years, which means you're actually doing 2.5 actual years, but you get credit for the total 5. And then you're thinking, okay, Stefano, what happens for the next 5 years? Well, on the next 5 years are going to be on something called mandatory supervision, which is, to kind of keep it simple, a very involved, very intense probation, okay? And so that's how you can serve 10 years as far as a local prison sentence and get out of custody in about 2.5 years, all right? So those are the 3 different things that you may hear. I went to jail, I went to prison, I went to local prison. Hope this information was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Stefano Molea, San Diego criminal defense lawyer, 619-295-3555.